your business, please don't get involved. I got money on my mind, trying to let...
So let's move on to this next topic. This topic surrounds Antonio Brown, ex-wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers, ex-wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I just want to ask you guys, what do you think about Aaron Rodgers, who just was signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers? There was allegations that Aaron Rodgers went to management and asked, could Antonio Brown come back to Pittsburgh? However, it looks as though Antonio Brown allegedly is going to have a legal, he's going to have some legal challenges because it looks like, according to latest current news, that he is definitely under investigation for gunshots being fired at an event, which we talked about probably over a month ago, that he went to an event and he allegedly said that some people tried to rob him and he wasn't going to let him take his jewelry or whatever he had on. And he defended himself. It was supposed to have been a self-defense type of situation. Do you think Antonio Brown will be able to come back into the league with this legal cloud hanging over his head, even if the Pittsburgh Steelers wanted to do it? Would they take that kind of risk? I could start with you, Najee. Tell me.
Nah, he's already an older player that I'm sure that hasn't been training and working out like he used to already. And like I said, he's already old because he was 36 now, if I'm not mistaken. His career's done, man. Like people that's 33, 34, 35, they already talk about how seasoned they are and what they got left. Now you're talking about a person that hasn't played in the last 2-3 seasons already. And he's not, I'm pretty sure he's not working out nowhere near he was when he was a pro athlete. Nah, he's pretty much cooked, man. He's cooked.
How about you, Isaiah? You think Antonio Brown will be able to come back into the NFL at some point? Let's just say even if he beats these legal challenges, would he be able to come back into the NFL and have a successful career? Same as he kind of left off when he won a Super Bowl at Tampa Bay.
Man, if I was in the position of the Steelers, I won't even want Antonio Brown driving down the street that my stadium sits on. The type of attitude this guy has, all the drama and the freaking skeletons he's got in his closet and always in trouble, don't listen to nobody. Man, I won't want that guy anywhere near my organization because he already been proven to be poison in the locker room, man. He's so toxic. He's an individual because, bro, you don't get on a better team when you got Brady as your quarterback, you freaking embarking on a Super Bowl, and you take off your equipment and you put on your team and run down the sideline half dressed like a complete idiot, man. Imbecile. You want to play in somebody's organization again? I don't want him around, man. And this is doing your job. This was a matter of just doing your job. And now look at all the off the field trouble that he's been in. Now he's in Dubai somewhere where they showed him on a bicycle riding because he's trying to elude being arrested, man, because he's in question for a situation that you mentioned earlier. Allegedly, the guy's gonna be arrested if they can get their hands on him, man, because he got in a fight and it was some gunfire and they think he did it. So why put yourself in this position when you got a guy who's gonna be going in and out of court during football season? Because that's what's gonna happen. You don't need that type of distraction on your team. So leave him where he is, let him fight his little battles in the courtroom, and let this guy go on about his business because he's just a toxic individual who don't want to listen. Man, bro, I seen this guy play at the highest level, and I didn't think anybody was better than him during his prime. But he messed that up. He messed it up. So he need to just work out his situation off the field, man, before he think about playing football, because he's in some serious trouble from what I see. Yeah.
So why would you think Aaron Rodgers would go in and lobby for him to come back? I mean, you think
Aaron Rodgers probably ain't know the magnitude of this situation, DC. He's in, and listen, man, it was gunfire. Somebody got hit at this party, and they think he had something to do with it. So it ain't gonna be like no peaches and cream for him. He's gonna be in and out of court, man. I'm telling you, they got footage of this stuff. And allegedly, they said he pulled a gun from a security guard and went after somebody with it. So, according to those tapes, in audio and video, it's a serious trouble, man. He's got a dilemma here that he's gonna have to iron out before he think about playing football, man. That's his least worry about getting on the football field. He escaped. They think he just jumped ship to get from in this country because he was gonna be arrested. This is not an easy thing that he's getting ready to go through, man. And Aaron Rodgers probably ain't know the magnitude of this situation, bro. I'm telling you, because it's a serious situation he found himself in. Yep.
So let me ask you this, Isaiah. Where does stand your ground, Florida stand your ground law come into play with this? Would Antonio Brown be able to use stand your ground as a defense that people were getting ready to take property from him? Do you have to wait until they take property first, or do you have to wait until they start kicking your butt first before you can stand your ground? How does that work?
Stand your ground is, to me, I'm going to tell you, if you look at that legislation, that bill was passed for stand your ground, it's something to defend yourself. If, let's say, for instance, you walking down the sidewalk with your wife and your kids, and all of a sudden somebody try to stick you up and you harm, you can smoke them, bro, right in on the scene. Because you, first of all, are potentially getting ready to get robbed, and you fear for your wife and your safety of your kids as well. So you can use that stand your ground law to get in a fight where you can actually retreat and run, take somebody else's gun and run after somebody. That's not stand your ground, man. Stand your ground and you start a fight and get your butt beat and then you shoot somebody. That's what not stand your ground is about. Stand your ground is not like you go over there because somebody stepped on your shoe and you push them and they hit your ass and then you want to shoot them. It's not. It don't work like that. Stand your ground means you got a big old guy and you a tiny fella and he's taking advantage of you and you blow his head off. That's what stand your ground is about. It's about not making you get punked out. But you can't start anything and use it. You can't go messing around with somebody and then use that stand your ground law. It don't work like that, man. And so in his case, it was a bunch of people there. He could have very clearly ran away from this fight. Not bringing it to somebody, but you could have retrieved, you could have took off running somewhere else. But the way they trying to say he did it, he pulled somebody else's gun. You can't use stand your ground for that. Okay, bro. I don't care what kind of attorney you have. You can't use that one.
That pulling the gun from somebody else is new to me, because I'm looking at just said that he allegedly discharged a gun. Now, I guess I would have to ask you then, and let me ask Najee this question. Is it an environment that can determine stand your ground? So you're saying, because Isaiah just explained, look, you're walking down the street with your wife and kids, minding your business, and then somebody try to stick you up. That stand your ground. You can do what you need to do to defend yourself and your wife and your kids. However, if you're at an event and you have on a certain amount of jewelry or a fur coat or whatever you may have on, and then you have guys walking towards you that's getting ready to do something to you, you can determine whether they're getting ready to do something to you or not. If they walk towards you, you just need to retreat. Is that how stand your ground works, Najee?
No, just like what Isaiah said, it's almost a self-defense situation, but where you're being overpowered. So now you have to, defend yourself before you're not able to defend yourself. Now, from what I was told was that he was being jumped out there when he had all his jewelry on, because he's a flashy type of dude.
Exactly.
I don't know if so of the fight situation, Dan ran to the guy and got a gun, or that that the fight was done, he was pissed off and then grabbed the gun and started shooting. I don't know how that played out. Now, if he was getting jumped, then he was able to just grab one. Then of course you can still you can use that as stand your ground, because you're still in the motion of getting feet on and you can't get out of the situation. They showed a small clip of it on YouTube, on Facebook, that he was getting jumped though. But I don't know how the gun, transpired in the whole situation.
Getting jumped. I mean, how do you square getting jumped and people are doing something to you, and then if you have a gun, you can't use it, and then you have a law which is very unique in Florida, because we don't have it out here in California. You don't have no stand your ground law in California. It looks like it's Florida and several other states in the country that use stand your ground. So if that's the case, you're getting jumped. What is he supposed to do? What is he supposed to do?
If you were getting jumped, okay, and you done got your butt beat too now, and they start to retreat. No, but hang on. If you got beat down, okay, and those guys left you alone, they was retreating. You can't even shoot them in the back, man.
No, that for sure.
Oh, now you can't shoot them in the back.
What I'm saying to you is, what I'm saying to you is, according to them, they had already beat up Antonio Brown. This is allegedly. He had already got the fight was over, so he got the gun and went after the guy. See, that's not stand your ground. You can't get a gun. That's premeditated because it gave you an out. You had an out to get away. You can't do it. You can't beat up and go to your car and get a gun and come back to the scene and shoot a guy. He can just pick your butt. You can't get in the car and get the gun and come back and shoot him. That's cold-blooded murder. You can't do that. If the guy was beating you up and he just punched you in the jaw and you was going down, you could take your firearm and blow his head off. Then that's how that law works. But if that guy punched you and ran, you can't go after him and shoot him in the back. You can't. I mean, if he stopped, you can't even shoot that because it gave you an out to get away from the scene. So he's in a bunch of trouble, man. According to the way this, went, he's in trouble.
Well, let me just say this, and I'll clarify what you guys just said. Yet, according to reports, Antonio Brown is accused of taking a gun from a security staff member during an altercation outside of the amateur boxing event in Miami. And that's all still allegations from my perspective and standpoint of view, because we don't have the police report. We don't exactly know what.
We don't know any of that.
Yeah, so all we can do is go on what we have here as news sources as well. I would only wish Antonio Brown can get his life together in that sense. And I'm not saying that he's at fault for guys jumping him, because that's not right. I mean, when people jump you and want to take something from you, you want to defend what you have. And that's just, to me, a normal human reaction is to react like that, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not defending or condoning Antonio Brown at all. But what I'm saying is, if people are getting ready to, or they beating you up and getting ready to take something from you, or they've taken something from you and then they start running away, I guess you just have to let them have it, right? You just have to let them.
Well, I've never heard anything where he actually got anything taken from him. That's the one big part of it now, DC. They said they jumped him. But they never said he was robbed and they took anything from him.
No, they
didn't say he lost any of his property.
Saying that was an example of, do you just need to let someone, if they jump you or start beating you up individually, they take something and start running, you just have to technically let them go. You can't use a stand your ground defense in that, correct?
That's not because it's not defending yourself. It's retaliation. Retaliation and defending yourself are two different things.
Absolutely. Well, he had a very fantastic career. I could just say, watching Antonio Brown, especially when he was playing for Pittsburgh, him and Ben Roethlisberger, they connected on so many plays and big plays, and winning games and with no seconds left on the clock, winning big games, and then whatever happened in Pittsburgh with him becoming, disoriented and not wanting to be in Pittsburgh anymore, that led to him going to Tampa. Now, I have a major problem with Antonio Brown turning on Tom Brady. And the reason I say this is because Tom Brady saved his career. The reason he has a ring on his finger is because of Tom Brady. Why would you turn and bite the hand that feeds you? Because I guess you figure that you don't need the person anymore? Is that the way it works, Isaiah?
No, I think he was ungrateful and severely ungrateful, man. You got a guy who brung you in here, one of the best quarterbacks on the face of the earth, bring you into a situation.
Best in the history of the game.
He bring you in a situation. I mean,
he was staying at his home.
Absolutely.
He was at man's house. He was here in Florida, where it was great climate. He had all the things that you can imagine for a receiver, man. And you blew it because of his own self-inflicted behavior. Bro, that's the main reason why it ain't nobody in their right mind can be even phantom this guy being in their organization anymore, because clearly he's got issues. He need to be in some kind of treatment center to find out what's really going on with him, man. Because every time I see him on TV, it's for something negative. It has nothing to do with a positive move at all. Since he ran down the sideline with half of his uniform, it's been something negative about him. So I just think the man needs treatment. I think something severely wrong with him mentally, because he's not all there right now at all. So
You think it could be CTE?
Pardon me?
You think it could be CTE? Too many blows to the head? He played Little League football all the way up until he played professional, correct?
Well, I don't know whether he ever got tested for that, but they're going to test him and see what color his fingerprints are when they get him. They're going to be rolling his prints, though. I know they're going to test him on that. You know?
He's got a lot in front of him. I can tell you that, because at the end of the day, once you get into these legal problems, I mean, especially when the state is bringing charges against you, or when the federal government is bringing charge against you, those are serious charges. Spend a lot of money trying to stay free, because at the end of the day, you're fighting for your freedom, a freedom that everybody tends to enjoy, walking around not being accused of anything, right? So whenever you have to fight these kind of battles, it's very draining. You don't have time to think about nothing else other than trying to fight your way out so you can stay free and not become incarcerated and locked up like an animal, you know?
And see, with him, it's always going to be a character issue, man, because, you know, he was just going at it with his landlord. He had a big old thing where the cops had to respond over to his house because him and his wife or his girlfriend or whatever case may be, they was out there fighting, and, you know, in the yard. This was alleged stuff, but then it is always something with him. So they're going to look at his character, and the character is not a good thing when they start evaluating your character, because everything else is documented and they can see it. Yeah,
that's true. That's true. All right, well, we'll do a final take here. I have a question for Najee. Steven Adams just signed a $39 million deal. Steven Adams center, 3 years, fully guaranteed. Houston Rockets front court going forward. What is his locker room impact with this new contract? I mean, you think this is really going to motivate him to really kind of get his team to the next level?
I mean, nah, not really. He's a veteran player that does his job. He's one of the strongest guys in the league. He's very durable. He's reliable. He stays out of trouble. He plays hard. Whatever he can give you, he will give you. He doesn't cheat at all. He's going to give you exactly what's required of him. He's just one of those players that's very reliable on your roster every time it's time to play.
Right, because he played for Memphis for a while, right? I remember him playing for Memphis, the Grizzlies.
And he used to play with Durant now.
Right, and it looks like he
played for OKC and Memphis.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's with Houston.
Right. Mm-hmm. So definitely, I just wanted to close out with that. We'll close this show out. We appreciate you, the viewer, chiming in with us again. We're going to be doing the upcoming stream this coming weekend. We'll put some information out so you can be aware that we're going to be streaming live. We want your want you to actually participate with our stream and give us some questions or some topics, and we'll talk about those along with you as a viewer. You can chat live on YouTube, so make sure you hit that like button, check that little bell, and make sure you subscribe, because boy, we bringing it. We bringing the best of the best of the best of the best. So this was a very fruitful show. I appreciate my two kinfolk here, because man, I'm one of the most blessed individuals on earth to have my two kinfolk here with me. So, Isaiah, go ahead and close this thing out for us.
Man, I couldn't say it better, DC, man. Whenever you got some friends and family that you care about, and I recommend everybody, if you got somebody in your life that you care about, don't be hesitant to tell them how much you care and how much you love them, because, you know, next day you might not be able to just do that. But I love you guys, man. I want everybody to continue to watch our show. It's beautiful, man. And we're doing this for you guys to bring you some entertainment. We work on great content every week, and we giving you the most current events and things that's happening around sports and a little bit of other stuff. But we're loving it. So tell your friends that we're on, your relatives, your coworkers, everybody who you kind of come in contact with, that we're on. And it's a beautiful thing. So you guys have a pleasant week. We'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Najee, close us out.
Well, peace and blessings, man. Because if you love God, because He's definitely gonna love you. Exactly what Isaiah said. Because every time I get on Facebook, every time I get on, look at the news or whatever, there's always somebody dying. It's family, people. It don't matter what age. It's kids, infants, adults, elderly people. It's people dying every day. I'm talking about car accidents. We just had the airplane that crashed in India. It was 241 people on there. Yeah. 240 died. 40 died. It didn't really take off. It got in the air and came right back down. The only person that survived was the person that got ejected from the airplane. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. Your time is over, and guess what? It will expire on you.
That is so true. That is so true. One last thing. I got to get a pick from you tonight, Isaiah. Who are you going with tonight? OKC or Indiana?
Okay. Yes, OKC.
I should have known that. I just asked you just to
I ain't
ask.
changing.
How about you?
Yeah, I'm not changing.
Really, Shea Alexander's getting finals MVP, so he has to win. They're going to win tonight. They may lose. May lose games just to extend it, but they're going to close it out at home again, either way. So, OKC is going to win. I don't know what else to tell you.
All right. Well, I'm going to be contrary to both of you guys, and I'm going to say Indiana's going to get this one tonight, and then Indiana is going to close this next one out at home thereafter, because this is the pivotal game, and whoever loses tonight, I say, is going home. So
lose the series.
Absolutely. So we'll close the series out and close this show out. Thank you for joining the DC Stewart Show podcast, along with my kinfolk, Isaiah and Najee, and we'll be back to see you soon. Stay strong. Take care of yourself before you take care of those around you. Peace, love, and prosperity. Take it easy.
You've reached the end of another episode of the DC Stewart Sports Talk podcast. Be sure to connect with us at Facebook and Twitter.com. Your voice is important, so head over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. Catch our next episode.